Hi, everyone. This is Christine Kopr, Senior Vice President of Sales with Sotheby's Realty in Vancouver. And today I'm going to share a video about my special monthly reports. Now, those of you that are subscribers, you receive 2 emails from me every month giving you a market update. And in addition to that, one of those 2 emails contains these special market reports, which I'm going to run through with you today to show you just how incredibly important it is to specialize and know the market segment that you might be thinking about buying or selling in. What the email, I'm just going to share my screen actually. So what the email looks like, you get it every month. It looks like this. It comes through and it has this SnapStats report icon, and you can click on the various reports right here. And let me just actually go into full presentation mode free here. So this is what the SnapStats look like. We have 3 reports: Metro Vancouver, Greater Vancouver, and the Fraser Valley. The locations for each report are noted right here. So Metro Vancouver covers these areas. And the report I'm going to be looking at today is February 2022. So we just got the stats for last month. So let's get to it. Now, what you're going to learn by looking at these reports is how easy or hard was it to buy or sell a property, regardless of what month it was. It's going to be the month prior. So giving you an indication of what's to come. You just click in the email on the link and that will take you to the report. So here's what you need to know about the report. It's always good to review this information. So any sales ratio, this is what you're going to see in the report, is the sales ratio. If you have a sales ratio of 21% or higher, you are in what's considered a seller's market. 15 to 20% is considered a balanced market, doesn't favor any of the buyers or the sellers, and 14% or less sell-through is considered a buyer's market. To put it a different way, if you're a 10% sales ratio, that's only 1 in 10 homes are selling. And in a hot market, anywhere over 22%, and here at 54%, you're looking at every 1 in 2 homes selling. Now, even though we have very high sales ratios in a hot market or a seller's market where there's more buyers, there's more buyers than there are listings, it doesn't mean that everything is selling. So that is something to keep in mind. When you're looking at the report, these are the main things. Are you in a seller's market or a buyer's market? And depending on who you are in the transaction, if you're the buyer or the seller, this is going to have an impact on you and how you're going to have to proceed moving forward. Now, how you calculate it is you take a look at the sales for the month divided by the total inventory that was available. And that's basically the absorption rate. So one more time, it's the total amount of sales that occurred in the month divided by the total amount of homes available to give you the percent of homes that are selling every month. It's a percentage. Now, this is different from months of inventory, which is something that I really like to focus on when looking at the marketplace. So let's take a look at what's happened recently in a couple of markets. Let me just move myself here. So we're going to take a look at downtown condos and townhomes. Okay, so this is what the market report looks like. You'll see the label right here. It says Vancouver downtown. Here you can see what month this is for. So today's March 2nd. This is for the month of February because the month concluded and we got all the stats. So on the side here, you're going to see the price range of the properties in Vancouver downtown. And that's made up of Cole Harbour, downtown, West End, and Yaletown. Okay. And you're going to see the total amount of inventory per price band, and then you're going to add them all up here. And then you're going to see the sales that happened in February per price band, and then a total. And then you're going to see your percentage points. Obviously, the lower the price range, the more buyers there are in that marketplace. It's going to be a hot market, particularly right now in what is a historic low inventory environment, coupled with lower interest rates. And here you can see in the $500,000 to $600,000 range, you have a 54% sell-through rate or sales ratio. It's a very strong market, even in the 600 to 800, 900 to $1 million price range is a very, very strong market, even over to 1.250. You're still in the seller's market. In fact, you go into the seller's market all the way up to the 2.250 price range for, broadly speaking, in the downtown attached market. Now, in total, of the total amount of inventory, the sales, 285 sales divided by the total inventory of 680 homes that were available is a 42% sales ratio. That is a strong seller's market. And of course, the product you're going to be looking at, we need to focus in the price range. The second part that I like to look at, and I just did this math for you guys, is we take a look at the amount of inventory divided by the amount of sales. So if we always had this consistent amount of inventory and we sold this many homes per month, how many months of inventory would we have before we sold out of all of our inventory? That's what months of inventory is all about. And you can see here for all of downtown and for various price ranges, we're at 2.4 months of inventory. Below 4 months of inventory is a seller's market. Now, if you want to look at your price ranges, you can go in here and do the same math. So if you had 74 homes in this million to 1.2 range, 74 homes, 36 sold, you have pretty much only 2 months of inventory, because if you didn't add any more inventory and you continue to sell at 36 homes a month, you only have 2 months of inventory. Tight market. And then you can also take a look at location specific, and you can also look at bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, 1 bedrooms, etc. You also get your average sold price as well as price per square foot and what's happening with inventory and days on market, as well as the solds. So you can see that we're sitting at a 42% sales ratio for the downtown market. So let's take a look and see what's happened since then. In January, it was 30%, December it was 33%, November 38%, and on it goes. We've had a very, very rapid change in the early part of this year, and we feel it across the board, whether it's condos, townhomes, or detached properties. You can see the peak here was March. And if you check out my next video that we're going to do, or my other video I do in the month, which goes over months of inventory and what's been going on, we're going to go over a year trend, because I always like to show the trend to put everything into perspective for you. So I encourage you to check out that video. It'll be on my YouTube page. So you can see that was peak market, 51%. The next slide gives you, there we go. The next slide gives you an understanding of what happened here. Up here is the sale price. You can see this 13-month trend. So we're going back a year. Look at the inventory. You can see this dip here for downtown condos and townhomes. And of course, our sales have risen, and they have been strong, and therefore putting upward pressure on these prices downtown. Back here, you could see there's a time when inventory came up, sales went down, and prices started to trend down. As you can see here, it's always a lagging indicator. Now, do all markets perform the same? Well, that's an interesting question, because here is the tale of the West Side detached market. Currently in February, we jumped up to 19%. So we're just in the top end of a balanced market for West Side detached homes. Having said that, if you take a look at any of the properties, West Side, very challenging to get a home around, the $2 to $3 million range that's livable. So take a look at the sales ratios here, very strong in these price points, all the way up to about 4.5. And then once you get over 4.5, it starts to temper off and fall out of a seller's market. But broadly speaking, West Side detached was 19% for February, up from 13% in January, which was on the cusp of a buyer's market. However, prior to that, we were in very, very balanced market conditions for West Side detached. But if you look all the way back to peak market of 2021, that was the spring of last year, we were sitting in these 22, 28% sales through ratios. So it makes a big difference. And of course, you can see it here. It's reflected perfectly in months of inventory. If our sales continue to be 101 sales per month, and we don't gain any listings, we are sitting at 5.3 months of inventory. So we're in a balanced market. Here's that graph just to show you the 13-month trend. 13 months ago, 3.280 was your medium home price in Vancouver West, and now we're sitting at 3.6. Okay, strong gains year over year. You can see the inventory climbed up here. We had some rapid price increases, then we dropped down, and then we started to trend off as the sales started to decrease into the summer of last year. And then our inventory started to drop into the fall. And now we're starting to see, as well as the sales, but now we're starting to see a small uptick in terms of price, just because of lower inventory, and some sales are starting to tick up into the, over 100 sales a month category. East side. So this is east side detached homes. How do they compare to west side detached homes? Well, here we go. This is February, 29% sales through ratio. Pretty strong market for Vancouver East detached homes. You can see that here reflected in the price points. Most of the properties are under $3.5 million. And you can see everywhere from 1.2 all the way up to about 3 million. Well, 2.75 is a strong seller's market. You get these little glitches here in these pockets, but these are barely livable homes. These days, you're looking at least $1.8 to $2 million for an entry-level home on the east side. 3.4 months of inventory is where we are sitting for detached homes. Again, this is a seller's market, and 4 months of inventory above is more of a balanced market. Now, what's interesting is January was a 19% sales through ratio. However, that's January. We're coming out of the Christmas season. However, we also had no inventory. And if you have no inventory, there can't be any sales. You can't sell stuff. So anyhow, you can see it was strong. It's been a strong seller's market in the 30s here all the way back to last summer. Took a little bit of break during the summertime, and in the spring we hit 53% sales through ratio. Unbelievable. And prior to that in December was 43%. Here's your graph that can show you how the inventory, again, this was spring of last year, came onto the market, sales slowed down somewhat, and then things started to taper off. However, inventory started to taper off and sales regained as everyone got back into the marketplace. And we have just seen an absolute rapid increase in prices in Vancouver East Side homes. So I hope you found this video informative. Please, if you're not signed up, take the opportunity to take advantage of these complimentary reports. It really gives you some great inside information on what's going on in the marketplace, whether you're in the market or not. If you're ever curious, it will let you know what's happening. And if you want to talk about it in detail, I welcome the opportunity to connect with you. I'm Christine Kopr. Thank you so much for your time. If you're watching this on my YouTube channel, make sure you click and subscribe. If you're seeing it somewhere else, make sure you like or tag or ask us a question, and make sure you check out our YouTube channel. All right, take care and talk to you soon.